Why Vietnam two-time COVID winning? Vietnam perhaps is the bright name in the war on the coronavirus pandemic. Many people have called this an exploit. However, the exploit came as a result of every tireless effort of the Communist Party, the state, departments, and the whole Vietnam citizens. Although this is not the final victory, with the spirit fighting this epidemic means fighting the enemy, Vietnam has divided into many different stages and has won on every stage until now. Vietnam has received global praise. While Vietnam has a weak healthcare system and a low budget, the effectiveness in coronavirus fighting is highly appreciated. Deputy Prime Minister has shared, current Vietnamese's life is a dream for many people, many countries on the world. Why does Vietnam achieve these things? Let us decode this together.
1. Why? 10. Because. The first thing that needs to mention is that the proactive participation of the whole political system, the drastic direction of the party, and the state. From the beginning, Vietnam had a right attitude towards the pandemic, determination not to be inattentive, lax, and subjective. On March 30, 2020, General Secretary and President Nguyen Trong has called on the whole Vietnamese citizens to unite as one before the danger of epidemic. Responding to the appeal, Vietnamese always keeps in mind every citizen as a soldier who is ready to fight against epidemic on all aspects and keeps in absolute belief and joins hands together with the party and the state.
Vietnam is also the first country in the world applying required medical declaration to all people enter Vietnam from epidemic areas. At the beginning of the outbreak, the state issued timely responding measures such as social distance, everybody stays home. International organizations and friends lately evaluate that Vietnam's measures are very right, early, aggressive, and the highest economic effective, because our total grand cost to fight the epidemic is very low in comparison with other countries in the world.
We have a team of physicians, white-shirted soldiers on the front line to fight against the epidemic. Vietnam healthcare system has been always the pride of the Vietnamese people, with the day and night efforts, being unafraid of infection and trying to find out the most suitable treatment for each coronavirus-infected patient. Thanks to the devotion of medical staffs, Vietnam had 326 recoveries out of 349 confirmed cases after more than 6 months aggressive fighting against the epidemic. The praiseworthiness is that Vietnam has had no deaths due to coronavirus until now. It can be said that this is the pride, the gratitude and the success in the fighting against the epidemic.
The People's Army, People's Police and other functional forces, especially soldiers, always work in the spirit of serving the people. Thousands of soldiers were lying in the forest, guarding the path along the borderline, leaving the barracks to the isolated people, from the rainy and cold days to the hot summer days. The gratitude together with the responsibility has left emotional stories and contributed to the pandemic victory. Vietnam strengthens surveillance at every level with the motto, walking every lane, knocking on every house, to detect and screen infected people. Sets up quick response teams, which immediately localize the epidemic region and treat with the support of superior healthcare. Vietnamese people seriously carry out wearing masks and sanitizing hands in public places and crowded places to minimize cross-contamination in the community.
Enterprises, economic units, have voluntarily accepted losses of immediate benefits to join hands with the state to fight the epidemic. Despite facing with many difficulties, they are still in the spirit of supporting together in every situation. Some enterprises apply temporary solutions such as arranging employees working in shifts to reduce salary costs, shifting from one kind of undertaking to another, etc. to overcome some difficulties for the enterprise as well as employees.
The media in Vietnam also contributed to the victory in the battle against coronavirus. Vietnam has raised appealing, encouraged and instructed so that people voluntarily follow, such as, staying at home is patriotism, or messages from doctors like we stay at work for you, please stay at home for us. Understanding that spirit, the Vietnamese people have joined hands to restrict traveling and protect themselves to reduce the burden on the health sector. In addition, the propaganda and foreign information activities have been carried out proactively and synchronously, creating widespread effects and widely recognized and highly appreciated by the international community.
The last thing is that Vietnamese people are wonderful. This is the compliment and thanks from Deputy Prime Minister Vu Duc Dam to the whole Vietnamese people after the pandemic. The sacrifice of Vietnamese people is weight. They are willing to give rice and clothes to each other in difficulties. Every citizen, social class and circle depends on their ability. The person who has money will donate money. The person who has an in-kind will donate in kind. The person who has strength will contribute strength. The person who has ideas will contribute ideas. Many landlords reduced or exempted the rent for workers. Rice ATMs were invented to help the poor in the affliction, or face masks were delivered free of charge in public places. Many agencies, units, organizations, enterprises, individuals inside and outside the country, overseas Vietnamese, with deep feelings and responsibilities, have actively participated in supporting to prevent and control COVID-19.
In the limited national resource condition, as an active and responsible member of the international community, Vietnam has also expressed its deep understanding, sharing and has made every effort to cooperate practically and coordinate timely with other countries, especially those heavily affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Vietnam has both feet on the ground and knows the complexity and seriousness of the epidemic. Therefore, it is not subjective. Every step is careful but extremely drastic. When there are places in the world where have no preparation, or hesitate to choose between health protection and economy, Vietnam is ready to take action. All social classes of Vietnam are unanimous. The government considers the people as the country's roots. The team of physicians is devoted and humanization are everywhere. For these reasons, I believe that Vietnam will completely win this pandemic soon. And we are proud of this S-shaped country. Please leave your thoughts about our beloved country on the comment below.